welcome to my channel Hairliciously. I apologize again because it's been a while since I've last posted a video for you guys. I'm still moving things around in my new house and I'm still moving boxes and just unpacking and stuff. So hopefully by the end of this week I'll be able to give you a tour of my new townhouse. But in today's video I wanted to talk about how you guys can detect and spot a person who's had a hair transplant. Now, we all know that hair transplants have come a long way and it's made great strides in helping men, recover their hair. It's gotten to the point where it's almost difficult and impossible for people to notice somebody who's actually had a hair transplant done. One of my favorite cars is the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. If you own one, you're more likely to notice somebody driving one in front of you. So likewise, if you've had a hair transplant, you're going to cultivate a sixth sense where you're going to be able to tell if somebody actually had a hair transplant done or not. So let's get started. So if you guys have been researching about hair transplants, you know that both the FUE and the FUT procedure will leave scars on the back of the head. A linear scar from an FUT is probably one of the best ways to tell if somebody actually had a hair transplant done or not. Unless the hair is cut really short, you probably won't be able to tell. However, most FUT scars are going to be most evident when the hair is wet. And you also might be able to see the scars if the person has low density in the back of their scalp. Now the same principle also applies if you've seen a lot of small tiny white dots in the back of someone's scalp, and chances are that the person ended up getting an FUE. And for those who've actually had hair transplants and studied and researched everything about hair loss and different types of hair transplants, you're going to develop this sense where you're going to be able to tell if people actually had transplants or not. The first thing that I notice when I talk to somebody is their hairline and their hair. And I try to classify them depending on what kind of Norwood chart they're on. If they have a nice head of hair, I try to see if they've actually had a hair transplant done or not. And so you guys are going to have this crazy thing where you're just going to start analyzing people and just going crazy over hair. Alright, number 2, a unnatural hairline. A poor or unsuccessful hair transplant can leave you with a unsightly and unnatural hairline, which is one of the other ways to spot a hair transplant. Now, the design of the hairline should not be too straight, and it should resemble a coastline, and it needs to look somewhat irregular like the zigzag. If you take a look at Jamie Foxx's hairline, it looks way too straight, it's way too symmetrical, and it just looks so unnatural. And it looks as if he's wearing some type of helmet, and his hairline just looks way too perfect. Now, the temporal points even look more ridiculous, which obviously indicates that he's had some type of hair transplant done. Now, he also has a scar covered by a tattoo on the back of his scalp, which shows that he actually had an FUT. Alright, number 3, the hairline does not match the degree of total hair loss. Another giveaway is when a person has rebuilt his hairline but not his receding temporal points. Here's what I mean. Here's a picture, and notice how the hairline has been rebuilt but the temporal points on both sides haven't. And if you see balding individuals who are receding on their temporal points, then they're going to be more than likely to recede on the hairline as well. It's almost very unlikely for a person to just recede on their temporal points and not their hairlines. They pretty much come in a bundle together. So it's very crucial that you not only rebuild the receding hairline, but also to match the degree of recession on the temporal points and the scalp as a whole component. So in other words, if you see somebody that's just done a procedure on their hairline and there's everything looks pretty good, it looks as if the person's not receding, but he's receding on his temporal points because the doctor didn't implant any hairs there, that's going to be a good dead giveaway that the person has most likely had some type of hair transplant. Number 4, unnatural angles of hair. So a hair transplant can look unnatural if the hair has been transplanted at different angles and the wrong direction than your native hair. So the correct angle and the direction of hair is a very important factor in a hair transplant procedure. A wrong transplanted hair angles are difficult to correct and they're relatively impossible to reverse, and the hair is going to be grown in that unnatural direction. So let me show you guys a picture of what I mean here. And notice how the hairs stick out and it doesn't follow the natural flowing direction of the native hairs on the person's scalp. This is also going to be another way that you guys can spot if a person has had a hair transplant or not. Alright, and finally number 5, the shape and the position of the hairline. So when the shape of the hairline does not match the normal bell shape or even the normal round design of a male hairline, then it's going to be another dead giveaway that a transplant was done. In addition, if the position of the hairline is situated on the vertical plane of the head, for example, the forehead, this can also be a problem. So the hairlines should actually rest almost entirely on the transition from the forehead to the scalp and not any lower than the limit. Otherwise, it's going to look very unnatural and it's just going to be screaming that the person has had a hair transplant. Anyway guys, I hope you guys like this video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave me some comments. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. And stay tuned for more videos in the next coming few days. Take care guys.